You may be thinking I've finished. No, I haven't. I've still got another sleeve to go. Hello and welcome to the Simply in Stitches Sunday Knitting Podcast. My name is Tina. Welcome to my craft room. As you saw, the Dahlia is not finished yet, unfortunately. So I've made good progress though. I'm pleased with my progress. So I have finished off one of the sleeves. I'm not 100% convinced I like the cuff. I wanted a small cuff because I've got quite small wrists. This is a big arm. I didn't want it to be flappy. I like that look, but I don't like actually wearing it when it's bigger and it just dips in your tea and everything. But I'm not sure. But then I don't know if once it's washed and blocked a bit, whether I like it a bit more. But at the moment, I'm not sure about that. So I may change that. I did the high-low hem that I spoke about last week. So I'll put a bit of video up here so you can see that a bit more. So really I didn't want that traditional because I wanted it a little bit longer. I thought that I would do it slightly shorter at the front, longer at the back, and just lengthen the whole thing because it's a cosy, warm, snuggly jumper. I just wanted that bit of extra length because I felt I had enough yarn. That's why I went onto the arm first, see how much yarn the arm was going to take. And I should only use the ball that I'm using for that arm, and I've got another whole ball and some scraps, so I had plenty to do that with. So that was good. I'll have to look to see. I can't remember how many of these I have used, but in next week's video when I have finished, she says, I will tell you how many balls of this I used. So this is the Life Chunky by Stylecraft. It's 100% acrylic. And so, yeah, I used the Mixtures Cranberry colour. So I should let you know to do the longer length how many I used. I am about a UK size 14 at the moment and rising. Yes, so I literally just stopped and just started just going backwards and forwards on one needle and then went back to the other ones on the other side to finish off that. And yeah, I've spoken about this a lot before, so there's not really anything else to say. Those are the modifications, and yeah, really liked it. I'm enjoying the fit of it. I think that's the right fit. I'm glad it fit nicely. It's loose, but it's not big, so it doesn't bulk me out more, which I was worried about. I'm glad I put those slits in there. I think when I hold those slits together, it really sort of emphasises my tummy, so I think it's more flattering to have that slit so it can go down instead of being pulled around that midsection. So yes, very pleased with that one, and I'm pleased with the progress. I've made a lot of progress. It's just that I've started something new, so that's held me up. And also this week, last Sunday, we were moving some logs because we've got a log burner. And my husband helped his sister to chop down one of her trees, and so he brought back a load of that wood that we needed to store. So I was helping putting that away, having this wood in the wheelbarrow and stuff. And yeah, my neck and my back the next morning, and I can still feel little twinges now. So being quite heavy to keep moving around, it's not something that I could work on for very long anyway. So, but being chunky, it does knit up quite quickly. So that is the Dahlia / Dahlia. What else? Now the shawl. I took a picture actually, so it's easier to actually have a look at it. I have finished the Tina section. This last section at the bottom, I've finished that, and I'm just about to start another repeat of the fancy dancy work on here. So I've got one more repeat of that, so I'll be okay with that one. But I was watching Mandy on Mandy's Makes, and she was saying, because she's knitting this one as well, she's knitting I think she's knitting every single one of Stephen West shawls this year, but she's knitting this one. And she's just got to the Tina section down here that caused me troubles. And she was having trouble with it as well. And so she's had discussions with a friend, and it seems to be there may be a bit of an error in the pattern. We don't know for sure, because some people have done it. I'm sure some people have done it on the pictures. So yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but it's none of my concern anymore because I've finished. I'm not pulling it back. I agree with everybody that said in the comments it's the Tina section. It's just my freestyle. Tina's freestyle section in the middle. I'm happy with that. So yeah, once I get another one of these bands underneath it, in the big picture of things, it's just going to blend in, isn't it? And especially when I start throwing it around my neck and it's all bunching up, you're really not going to notice, are you? Especially not when it's under there. So yes, I'm happy with that. So I'm just going to carry on regardless and just call it the Tina section. And yeah, but if you are knitting it and you haven't got to that section yet, I shall put a link to Mandy's video down below and you can follow her. And if there are any, if she finds out anything, then you'll find out when she does. So you can follow along with her because she knows far more what she's doing than I do. So that is the Stephen West. Did I actually tell you? I'm a bit all over the place and really fast this time, aren't I? Don't know what's going on. So this is the Stephen West Aurora shawl. Aurora cabin shawl, and it started as a knit along on the 26th of December, and a lot of people have finished it now, but not me, obviously. But it has been put onto the back burner because other things have come in. Next we have the February socks. So this February is violet, and so I am knitting some violet socks. So the yarn is Rosie's Knitting Shed and some Nord there on the plain one. Really happy with these. Last time you saw them last week, I was about there, I think. So I've knit the rest of the sock. And yeah, I'm loving how those colours just roll together. I think it's a perfect combination. Really love all the colours in this. They are definitely a Tina sock. Really looking forward to wearing these. Just plain vanilla, heel flap and gusset, and yeah. So that is the first one. And then I have started on the second one. Don't get excited. This is how far I am on the second one. So literally I am halfway through the rib of that one. So yes, I shall be carrying on with those. Still got plenty of time to finish them. So there's no rush on those. I'm just enjoying them, enjoying the yarn and the simplicity of them. Now I'm not doing the fidget socks. Next we have, yes, how could I forget? You might have noticed the elephant in the room, or rather the fox. No, she hasn't got her dress yet. Sorry, what was that you said? Something about distracted by baby knits. You may have seen the video a few days ago where I'm looking for what I'm going to knit for a friend's first grandson, and I was looking for inspiration and help. I've already cast something on, so yes, somebody isn't happy about that because it's taken me away from the dress. Should have had a little needle. Let's put this on a needle, that might be easier. Yes, Vixen, I know, you could have modelled this for me. But it's not finished unless you have a very mini dress and we want to cover your embarrassment. So this is the dress so far, and so it's mainly knit flat down to this point. I've just joined it in the round. It joins up exactly the same way as the knickers did. If you watch that vlog where I was knitting her little knickers, you just take 3 stitches behind the other and just knit them together, so it just joins up at the back. And so now I am knitting in the round, slight increase in for a little bit of an A line because we've got to get her hips in. So yes, really pleased with this. It's a really nice knit, and I'm sure I will knit her more when I get a chance. As I say, you got a really big back opening, and that has buttons so that it will do up at the top, but then there will be room for a tail to stick out there. And so I need to carry on, and I think it's just a picot at the bottom. Oh yeah, there's a couple of fancy rows. I think it's just like some, excuse me, I think it's like some pearl rows. And then she's got a picot edging on there as well. So yeah, she will have it by next week, Vixen. I'm nearly there now. Oh yes, the book. I saw it in the works this week, and it's £6 if you want to grab yourself a copy if you're interested in that. I went in for not this one, but I was hoping that they would have the other one because I knew they were selling these at a good price. So I thought maybe they'll have the wild animals ones because those clothes were fit as well. So I was just going to buy it for the clothes. I've got no intention of making another animal at the moment. I think Vixen's enough for now, but I would like to make some more clothes options. So yeah, I was just looking to see if they had those ones in. So if you ever see any of that one at a good price, let me know so I can grab the wild animal friend book as well. What else have we got? We have got my new cast on. As I just mentioned, I did a little video about doing some baby knits. I want to make a little boy. My friend's daughter's having a little boy, and so I wanted to do some gift knits for him, and so I have cast on. So I'll tell you what I'm knitting first of all. So this is the super simple round blanket. This one was made by the Karen Cakes, but I couldn't find them. I went to Hobbycraft and they had some of the Karen Cakes, but they didn't have the right one. It's like a worsted Aran weight. They didn't have that, and they didn't really have anything that really interested me in there for softness. I think any yarn you can use for a baby, as long as it's soft, it doesn't have to have the word baby on the label. So I was looking for an acrylic because I want it to be a blanket that can be taken out. Being born in March, it's going to be laying around a lot in the summer. So I was thinking, like, if she's out visiting and she wants to put something down on like grass or just anywhere, so she's got a clean surface for the baby to put it on or to wrap up to keep warm or whatever. I just wanted it to be a grab and use blanket anywhere, anytime. So I wanted it to be fully washable to keep it clean and fresh. So I went into Hobbycraft, no good in there. So then I thought, well, I want to check out to see what they've got in Home Bargains, because I've never used the Home Bargains yarn, but I know it's got a really good reputation. People say it's really good. So I thought, right, let's go in there and see what they've got. They didn't have anything, nothing. I was hoping, to be honest, because there seems to be a trend, or is it just because I notice it because I like it? People are making things with bright pink. I've seen Denise do design. She made a Whitmore in bright pink, loved it. Every time she was showing it, I thought I want one of those. There's Little Big Knits. I can't remember her name. But anyway, Little Big Knits podcast. She made a lovely vest in bright pink. Loved it, wanted it. And I think a couple of other things I've seen in bright pink, like a dark bright pink. And I thought, yes, if they've got that yarn. Oh, Davina, Little Workroom Crafts, she made a lovely pink for her daughter with the Whitmore as well, and I loved that. So that's really striking. I think it's the same yarn that Denise made hers in, so really striking bright, but something that's coming into the summer months would be nice to have a bright jumper. So I was sort of thinking, oh, if they got that. So they didn't have that. They didn't have hardly anything. They had some navy blue and some grey. They did have a really nice deep burgundy, but I thought, no, Tina, step away this time. You're on a mission to find blues and things. The brief was that she likes blues, greys, neutrals. So that's what I was going with for the palette. So yeah, because I couldn't find the cake, I thought if I can't find a cake, then I'll go for 3 different balls, because I need 300 grams of Aran. So I thought if I go for 3 different balls, then I can mix them to stripe them or something. So no luck there. So I thought, okay, where else can I find some yarn? Because I don't want to order it online, because I've only got 3 weeks before the baby's due. I've left it late and the baby might come early. So I thought, I don't want to waste a week waiting for yarn to arrive. So I thought, oh no, I'll go down to the Cotswold Sewing Centre, which has got a yarn department in there. It's only a small shop, but they're lovely ladies in there. So I went down there because I knew they had a big Stylecraft section now. They've got quite a big drop section and they've got a big Stylecraft section. So I went in there. And yes, got everything. It's so nice to see all the colours, like Stylecraft Special DK. It's like all the colours spread out to see. And so that's brilliant. When you want like 3 blues or something to match with each other, it's really nice to hold them together. So I've got everything I needed in there. So I picked up what's this one? Denim blue. This is all the special Aran, these ones. So I brought a denim blue, and then this is the cloud blue, and then silver grey. So I thought those ones together would be a nice palette, and I can literally stripe them in different orders to make up that blanket. So I have made a start. I'll spread it out a bit. So I've never made a circular blanket before. I can't spread it out too much, sorry. You get the idea. So you start in the centre with just a few stitches. It's a free pattern, this one, so I can tell you how many stitches. You start off by casting on 9 stitches, and then you use magic loop, the dreaded magic loop. There's nothing magic about magic loop, it's just horrible. But it has a purpose, and yeah, I created because of the magic loop, so I can't hate it too much. But I really don't like doing it. So as soon as I had enough stitches increasing, I went to a small circular and then made my way up to this size, but I need to go up again. So yes, it's really easy pattern. It's just I have to change arms just because of my neck. It's literally increasing. You can see each section. So each wedge, you increase 1 stitch, go on to the next one, increase 1 stitch. So it's the same for every other row you're increasing, and you're just adding an extra stitch before you increase every time. So I'm literally just doing it. Now you don't need to have line by line pattern. I'm just taking a note of what I'm doing, but I was doing this watching TV and it's very easy to do. So I thought what I would do for the colours is I've got that much for the grey, obviously, and now I've just brought in the light blue, so I'm going to do that width again, not the whole width, just half width round. So I've got that depth for that colour, and then I will bring in for the same depth this one to go darker, and then because obviously I'm going to use more of this one because it's going to get bigger, I will then perhaps finish off this one with stripes, and maybe, I don't know whether to do the grey with the stripes or come with this and like finish off the colours but in stripes So it's just got 2 colour stripes, and then when one runs out, I'll bring in the next colour. So that is the plan at the moment. That might change as it gets bigger. But it's one of those blankets that you can just keep going to the size you want. So I want it to be like a lap blanket. I want it to be a travel, like I say, carry around, have in the car or whatever blanket. So yeah, that's what I'm doing with that one. Oh, it's recommended for what size needles? For size 7mm needles. I'm using 5 because when I started, I didn't like how loose that was. I thought it looked messy and it might have a better drape to it, but I just wanted it to look a bit tidier than that. So I went for the recommended 5mm for Aran weight, and I'm happy with how it is. It's coming out nice and thick, so it'd be nice and warm. Like I say, it's not going to have so much drape, but I think it'd just be a nice blanket. It look nice, and I do want it so it can be something to go on the floor, to be the baby to lay on or whatever as well. So rather than so much of a snuggle, perhaps an over blanket, but we shall see how it turns out. And accustomed as I am to knitting baby blankets. So I've not made up my mind yet what little cardigan I'm going to do. I've still looking through all of the suggestions. I came up with some that I liked, but you all gave me loads of suggestions. So I was trying to think about what would be the best one to make for a baby of like from 3 months, because everyone always gets loads of stuff, don't they, for newborn, and then it's gone within a flash. So I thought I'd do a 3 to 6 month size. I did pick up for the cardigan as well, because I don't know what I'm going to need, but I know it's a cardigan, and I looked, generally it's less than 100 grams for that size. So I just got 100 grams of the DK, and this is in Aster colourway. It's coming up brighter on the screen, but it's like a cornflower blue, this one. It's got a brightness to it, but not as bright. It looks quite turquoise on the screen. But yeah, it's a nice, bright, cheerful, and I thought because it's going to be through summer, then it would be a nice, cheerful summer sort of colour, just for early mornings or in the evenings when it's chillier. Well, all day in the UK really. But you know what I mean. It's acrylic, so it's not for when it's sunny. The baby obviously doesn't need it when it's sunny, but if it just turns chilly, something for its little arms. So yeah. Speaking of yarn, I have been gifted some yarn. I'd like to say thank you very much to Sheila. Sheila contacted me and said, I've got some spare Nord yarn and things, would you like it? So I said, well, if you're not going to use it, I can definitely use it. And then, to my shock, when it arrived, there was all this there. So yes, I'm going to make something beautiful with that. So there is 4 balls of the Nord for socks, not only for socks, but I generally use them for socks. And then I've also got these beautiful Flora, and that is a wool and alpaca mix. So they are going to look, I mean, they look beautiful together, don't they? So yes, I'm going to make full use of those, and I'm thrilled with those. So thank you so much. That was so generous of you. And yeah, really looking forward to using those. That is so my colour. Look at it. It's looking brighter on screen, but it's more of a dark tomato red. But those colours would just look so nice together, wouldn't they, in some sort of colour work. So I'm really looking forward to using those. So they'll be put in stash, but they're not going to be in stash for long, and you need to knit up your stash, Sheila. I'm very pleased that you gave some to me, but you can't give it all away. You need to knit it and enjoy it. So that is all the knitting and things. I've got one more thing to say. A couple of people contacted me and said, do you know that some of your videos have disappeared, your tutorial videos? And yes, I do. Thank you for telling me no. Anything you see, please always let me know, drop me a line and say, did you know about this? Because I'll always be pleased you did, even if it's something I'm doing that I haven't mentioned. So the videos in question was the Harmonies socks and also the harvest cardigan. And the reason for that is because as those videos are so old, they're not really getting hardly any views. But sometimes I get a question on specifically like the harvest cardigan. It's like, I've got to this stage, but I don't understand, what is it? And it's like, I knit that like 5-6 years ago and I can't remember. I know that everything I said on there is right because so many people have finished the item. So I know it's not an error, it's just that they've got confused. So it makes my life, because people aren't using it, and I wouldn't delete anything like the simple vanilla socks. I'm never going to delete that because so many people are still using it and they're getting on well with it. And I'm knitting vanilla socks anyway, so if anybody asks me a question, I can answer it, and that's what I want to do. I want to be there to help people and encourage people. But I just think that those videos that I am finishing, they've just served their purpose and they don't need to be there. So it's just a bit of housekeeping really on my part. And yeah, so if I ever delete something and you're actually working through it, please contact me and I can give you a private link to go through. I'll put it, I can't remember what it's called. There's a different way of doing it, so it's not private, so you can see it, but it's not being offered by YouTube to everybody. So we can do it that way, but I'm only doing it to the videos that aren't getting the views anyway, so that's telling me that there's nobody following it. But yeah, I'll always be available. So don't think if you're following something and it disappears, you think, oh, now what do? I'll have to give up. No, just contact me and I'll let you have the videos. There's no problem. But yeah, I just basically don't want YouTube to offer them to people anymore because there's so many tutorial videos out there. I don't feel that those ones are needed, and I know I'd make a better video now. As I say, that was 5-6 years ago. I don't want to remake the videos. Tutorial videos are really time consuming, and yeah, editing and everything and making sure that it makes sense. And you can't just, like normal videos, you can chop things out. You can't do that when you're following a pattern. So I don't want to remake them. But also the ones that serve their purpose, I'd rather they drift off quietly. So yes, no problem there. I also wanted to say that I've noticed that there has been a lot of videos, people have been saying that videos have been hacked, not just on knitting, but on other subjects as well. So please be aware that I will never send you a message saying you've won something or I want your details. I'm not doing any giveaways or anything at the moment, no plans to in the future. So please don't respond if you get an out of the blue message from me. If you think it might be from me, then please just put in a comment under any video asking me directly. Don't go through any link. Do a new comment on a video asking me, do I want to get in contact with you? And then I will see that. I try and respond to comments as quickly as possible. So hopefully I would see anything going on and I will respond to your comment before somebody else does. So on my videos and any other videos, if you get an unusual message, always go through a different form of communication to contact that person and check. Never use the link that they give you. And so hopefully if we're all vigilant, then they'll give up because it's not getting them anywhere. So stay safe, take care, and I shall see you again next week. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.